Number 1. Try staring at the black cross in the center of the image. Now move your head back and forth, towards and away from the screen in a quick motion. Do the circles move? This is another simple optical illusion that uses black and white and perspective to trick our senses. Our eyes are focused on the center point, which stays still, and on the periphery of our vision the black and white points of the circles will appear to move because we cannot lock them down in our vision and because they give the illusion of moving out towards us. Number 2. Try focusing on one of these wheels in the illusion. It will not move. Now move your eyes around the other wheels and you will see them all rotating. By focusing again on any wheel individually, it will stop turning, but the wheels around it will. The illusion also works if you look away from the image, but keep it in a corner of your sight. When we focus on one wheel, our brain tells us that it is stationary and we understand its pattern. However, when we move our eyes, the patterns of all the wheels confuse our senses. Number 3. Try staring at this image and see if part of it becomes 3D. If you stare long enough, the circle in the center should project itself forwards, away from the background. The black and white checks in the circle may also move, giving the illusion that the circle is a ball, floating. This type of optical illusion is effective because of the way our brains perceive objects and particularly black and white patterns within objects. The circle acts differently, and is independent, from its background because of the change in its structure and the way in which we understand it. Number 4. Number 5. Is this a circle? Is this a circle or a spiral? It looks like a spiral, does not it? However, if you trace the line from the outside in or from the middle to the outside, you will not reach the middle or the outside because this is not a spiral. This is a clever image made up of concentric circles. It works because the black background of the spiral draws your eyes into the central focal point. The circles are not formed out of solid lines, but mixed shades of black and white to give them the illusion of leading inwards, like a spiral. Number 6. Stare at the gray dot in the center of this image. Now move your head backward and forwards. As you do this, the circles will start spinning. The dot gives our brains a fixed point. We can lock the dot down in this way. However, the gray squares that make up the circles already act peculiarly before we move our heads. They appear to be standing up, like a sort of 3D fence. If we move our heads while staring at the circles, they will not spin. It is only when they are in our outer vision that they move. Number 7. Stare at the object and see if it begins to move and shimmer. If you focus on the outermost groove, it will become projected as your eyes follow it around the wheel. This optical illusion, as the traditional spiral, is a popular way of tricking the mind. The black center gives us a focal point, but when we fix upon it, the squiggly black and white lines behave erratically around it. Our brains cannot lock these down, as they grow smaller towards the center, giving the illusion of perspective, and so in our minds they begin to move and shimmer. Number 8. This is another version of the earlier spiral, this time using pleasing colors to the eye. Is it a real spiral? The perspective is very convincing in this image, with the central focal point being a pale color. Now try following the outermost line you can see, all the way into the center. You will not be able to do it, because each circle is separate. The sense of perspective in this illusion really does trick us. We follow the black, red and pale diamonds as they retreat into the distance, and believe that the lines do the same. Number 9. Which inner circle is bigger in these two images, the left one or the right? The left circle appears to be much greater, doesn't it? In reality, the two central circles are exactly the same size. This is a useful optical trick that works with the use of negative and positive light and how we expect sizes of circles to behave. Because the circle on the left is surrounded by small outer circles, it dominates the pattern and appears much bigger. The inner circle on the right, however, is surrounded by much larger circles, making it appear smaller in comparison. Number 10. Stare at the image and see if you can work out the triangle. The cubes have been projected as 3D objects very effectively here, and color has been used to trick us into seeing the triangle change shape and twist around on itself. Does it make sense? If you begin with the purple square and follow it down to the green and then the white, it does behave like a triangle and the perspective is correct. It is only when you look at the black line of squares that the shape falters and the perspective changes.